let's get into the market, guys. You are probably seeing a lot of red right now in your trades. So I always advise that whenever we are checking our trades in the mornings, let's also couple it with CoinMarketCap. Okay, whenever you are checking your trades, also make sure that you are coupling it with checking CoinMarketCap. Okay, coinmarketcap.com, because that will give you a clear indication of what is happening in the market right now. So the first thing we pay attention to whenever we see movement in our trades, whenever we see movement in our coins that the robot is trading, we have a look at what is happening with Bitcoin. Okay, because remember, with the cryptocurrency markets, Bitcoin dominates. Bitcoin dominates. So oftentimes, whatever Bitcoin is doing will affect the rest of the markets. Okay, so we always pay attention to what this big guy is doing. Okay, and as you can see right now, if Bitcoin, it's down. It's down 10.7%. Okay, in the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, it's gone down 10.7%. At some point this week, it was actually sitting at 51,000. Okay, that was an all-time high that it hit. Now, remember, guys, when it comes to AMA markets, I'm not a cryptocurrency guru. I am not, an expert. I am just sharing my understanding with you from what I have learned and what I have picked up. So in no way do I want to turn this into a technical lecture. This is just to help you understand what's currently happening. So remember that when it comes to the markets, I always say, Uguti, remember that the market is made up of human beings like you and I. Okay, we've got buyers, we've got sellers. Those buyers and sellers will react and respond to whatever they are seeing happening within the markets. Okay, so this is what the smart people call a fundamental analysis. Okay, so whatever drives the markets, there will be internal things that drive the movement of these coins, and there will also be external factors that drive the movement and the direction of these coins. Right now, we have a lot of external factors that are driving the cryptocurrency space in the direction that it is currently sitting at. There's a lot of fudge, okay? There's a lot of fudge right now that is happening, fear, uncertainty, and doubt because of some of the things that are happening. So if you pay attention to the news, the crypto news, you would have seen that we've got the Securities Exchange Commission, trying to to force a bit of regulation on some of the cryptocurrency exchanges. And we know crypto cannot be regulated, unfortunately, but they will always try. Okay, so there's that. And then amongst that, we also have some other negative things that are happening within the cryptocurrency space that are causing the fear that is happening right now. Okay, but again, if we look at the internal, when I'm talking internal, okay, this is what we now call it technical analysis. What is happening now is also a market correction. Okay, when you have a coin, or rather an asset that is overbought, we saw Uguti if Bitcoin. I'm just going to open the charts. So if Bitcoin had a very sharp movement up this week, it had a very sharp movement up. Now, one of the things that drives a coin or an asset to appreciate in value is when you have a lot of buyers. Okay, so if we talk about the technical analysis side of things, the charts will tell you that Bitcoin was overbought. Okay, there were too many buyers in the market. Actually, it actually went as high as 52,000. So when there are too many buyers, the market will always correct itself. Okay, So after a huge pump, you must always expect a bit of a retracement down. Okay, that's just how the market moves. It goes up, it comes back down. And when it comes back down, trust and believe it will always come back up again. Okay, so there are various factors on the fundamentals, on the technical side of things, that are the reason why we are seeing the current dip. Now, is that a bad thing? Okay, absolutely not. It's normal, it's expected. Okay, and you will see, Uguti, when Bitcoin goes down, everything else follows. Okay, everything else follows. So I'm just going to go into my whiteboard here and then narrow this down to your personal account, because remember that when you activate your robots, we are all activating the robots at different stages of the market. So right now, there is someone who is saying, yeah, yesterday was a good trading day, okay? I know that my account gave me $40 yesterday, but you have someone who's telling you, Uguti, my account didn't make me anything yesterday. Has the robot paused? Has the robot stopped trading? And so forth. So I'm just going to draw this out. I'm just going to draw this out. So remember, Ubongi may have come in here. This is Ubongi. Ubongi may have come in here when Bitcoin, I'm just going to speak about Bitcoin as a basic example. When Bitcoin was at, I'm just going to say $35,000, and she came in, activated her robot, and her robot executed some buys, okay? Why do I say some buys? Because it would have opened other coins as well. Now, if Bitcoin started to trend up, okay, we saw Bitcoin rising, hitting 40K, hitting 50K, and so forth. And what's happening in Bongi's account, the other coins are following. They are appreciating up. Then we have Untabi. Untabi, who may have activated her robot here. So this is Untabi. And maybe Untabi, she activated her robot when Bitcoin was sitting at 40,000, right? And then we have Usilia, who probably, let's just say she activated her robot this week when Bitcoin hits its peak. Okay, I'm just going to say maybe Usilia came in at 50,000, right? And that was the peak of Bitcoin this week, 52,000. So I'm trying to make this practical. Now, Ubongi came in when the market was still low. Ubongi, when the robot executes a trade for Untabi, Bongi is already sitting in profit, right? She's already sitting with money that has been banked, because remember, the robot has certain parameters where it knows it must take profit as and when it reaches, a certain percentage of profit. When the market gets here, Bongi is in profit, Untabi is still sitting at 0, right? Because the robot just activated a trade for her. The market continues to rise. Now Ubongi is already sitting with a revenue of closed profits. She's already smiling. By the time it gets to where it's opening trades for Untabi at 40,000, she already has a number of days behind her of money that she's already banked. The market continues to rise. And then by the time it gets here, both Bongi and Tabi, have made some money, okay? Now the robot executes a trade for Usilia, okay? Because Usilia is the most recent entrant into Royal Q. So Usilia is currently sitting at 0 here. But just as the market comes up, okay, now let's just say with the settings that Usilia is following for the robot, it was set to maybe take a profit. Don't want to write a $sign. I wanted to write a percentage. Maybe it was set to take a profit at 1.01%. But before Usilia can close any profits, at 1.1%, what does Bitcoin do? It hits a peak and then boom, it dumps. it does what it's doing now. Okay, it dumps because the market is correcting itself. Now, poor Celia is thinking, oh my gosh. Now remember, her trades were opened at the highest points of Ilokuzana market. So Ubongi and Tabi already have a track record of profits. Celia hasn't yet experienced any profits, but already she's sitting on -15 or -20%, whatever it is that you are seeing in your back office. She has zero profits. Why? Because just before the robot could close the profits, the market dumped. Now, does Usilia have a reason to worry about this? Does Untabi have a reason to worry about the fact that her trades, you know, that were doing so well as the market was rising are now on a negative? Does Ubongi have a reason to worry that her trades that were giving her $20, $30, $40 are now sitting on a negative? Absolutely not. Because let's remind ourselves, what is it that is happening when the market is bearish? Okay, when the market is bearish, it simply means the value, it is only the value of your coins that is depreciating. You are not losing anything. So whatever coins the robots would have bought for Usilia here, let's just say it bought Usilia 1 Bitcoin here. Nah, that 1 Bitcoin will remain 1 Bitcoin. The only thing that is happening is the robot bought that Bitcoin for Usilia when it was at 50,000. But now, because of what the market is doing, the value of that very same Bitcoin has gone down to $45,000. Is it still 1 Bitcoin? Absolutely. It's still 1 Bitcoin. The only thing that's happening is it is fluctuating. It is responding to whatever is happening in the markets and it's depreciating in value. So what the robot will do, because our robot is smart and it knows that in the cryptocurrency trading space, we take advantage of these dips. We take advantage of these dips. What the robot will do is it will then execute. So in your trade settings, you will see something called margin calls. I'm going to simplify this term. This simply is an indication that the robot must buy the dips as the market is coming down. With every setting, with every strategy that we are following, it has a specific number of margin calls that it must execute, meaning it has a specific number of dips that it needs to buy at certain points of the markets going down. So what the robot is going to do for Celia, when it hits below 50,000 US dollars in Bitcoin, it's going to execute a margin call. It's going to buy a fraction of Amalokuzana of coins using her capital. The market continues to go down. It executes another margin call. The market continues to go down. Now it's reached that point where it had open trades for Untabi. Now Untabi is also starting to see AMA reds. Her robot is also going to trigger what? Margin calls. Now both Celia and Untabi are starting to see AMA reds. Eventually it gets to where Ubongi was. What does it do? Now it's executing margin calls and buying the dips for all three of us. Okay. For all three of us. Okay. So when the market is red, it's not a reason to panic. We sit back, we relax, and we understand, Uguti, this is actually what we want. We want the dip. We want the dip because it's an opportunity for the robots to buy, to accumulate more coins on our behalf at a lower price so that when the market comes back up again, we can start bagging those profits. Okay. And what the robot will do is it will take your capital and it will be buying in fractions. So if I have $1,000, you will notice that we have this thing called a first buy-in. That first buy-in amount that you are entering is basically the robot asking you from your capital. From your capital, how much do you want me to expose to the markets? Because as the market is trending up and I am buying fractions and fractions of coins, as the market is coming down and I am buying fractions and fractions of coins, I need to know the value of those fractions that I need to buy. So if I say my first buy-in must be $10, it means I am saying for every coin, it must only buy a value of $10 for every trade that is executed. And when I specify number of pieces, what am I saying? I am saying for the amount of capital that I have, I want it to trade X number of coins. Okay, so this is where it becomes very, very, very important for us to then also pay attention to the capital that we have, because we've spoken about the markets. It's going to move in whichever direction that it moves. Currently, it's on a dip. Currently, the market is correcting. So yes, we are going to see reds because our robots are working in the background. They are buying the dips and we just need to relax. But the second factor that we need to pay attention to is how much capital did we feed the robot to work with? Because if Usilia only came in with a trading capital of $20, né? Of $20, and her first buy-in was $10, it means the robots would have opened a trade here, at $10, right? So how much does Usilia have left in her balance to trade? She only has $10. The market reaches a peak and it comes back down. Now the robot is executing margin calls. So it's gonna buy here for $10. But when it gets to the second margin call, because it's still going down, is it going to have enough money to buy those dips for Usilia? No. So what's gonna happen is, this is where Usilia's trades are going to be stuck as the market is going down until it comes back. So the figure that she will see that is negative is going to be much higher than Untabi, who came in with $1,000 and was able to buy every single dip as the market was coming down. Because as the market is coming down, it's also fluctuating. It's going up, down, up, down. So for Untabi, it may have been able to close some trades here at the bottom. So she's going to see a lot more movement and she's going to see some returns on her revenue because she had enough capital to allow the robot to execute those dips. But shame, Usilia is still sitting maybe at minus 15%, waiting for the markets to rise back up. Okay, so it's Bitcoin, guys. Whatever Bitcoin does, the whole market is going to follow. When the market dips, we allow the robot to do what? To execute those margin calls to buy those dips. Né? Capital, the capital that you are trading is very, very, very important. You need to understand that that will influence the value of AMA-REDs that you are seeing in your account. Okay, so which means it's also very important for us to make sure that when we are doing our sync strategy settings, when we are doing our settings, we are setting the robot properly. Now, ideally, we say you need $150, especially in a bear market. You need at least $150 to trade one piece, which is one coin. Okay, so if you came in, let's say with a $200 account, right? And you set that account to trade 2 pieces. What does it mean? It means you are allocating $100 per coin. You won't have a problem when the market is trending up. You are not going to have a problem when the market is bullish, but you will have a problem when the market is bearish because it's going to buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. But eventually, when it can no longer buy the dips, that is when you will get that message that says, failed to execute short position. That is just an indication that it can no longer buy the next dip because you now no longer have enough funds in USDT for the robot to trade. So what do you do with what's happening currently in the market if you know that you are one of the individuals who does not have enough money to trade? You can either sit back and allow the market to come back up and relax, or you can simply just top up your trading balance, okay? So I thought I need to cover this because I already woke up to screenshots of people sending me AMA screenshots. My account is red, my account is red. Am I losing money? No, you are not losing money because in spot trading, we do not lose. Okay, the only thing that fluctuates is the value of your coins, but you are still owning the same number of coins, the same number of digital assets that the robot would have bought for you. So you just need to be patient. Crypto is a game of patience. You just need to be patient and allow the markets to come back up, which it will do. And when it comes back up, you will be smiling because all those dips that the robot bought will be sitting in profit, okay? So let's understand, let's not feel sad when we see others posting trades, posting activity, because it's also a matter of timing. Two people that may have activated the robots on the same day are not going to see the same results, because if I activated my robots at 7 a.m., Untabi activated her robots at 10 a.m. during the day, the fact is the market was at different points when we both activated it, even if it was on the same day. So no trading account, guys, is going to perform identically to another. So expect to see different testimonials and different activity being shared by different members. Okay, so I hope this part is clear. Ne? Now I'm going to go into the app because I want to show you where you must go to check if your robot is actually executing ama dips, because I know with a lot of us, when we see the reds, we are thinking, yo, it means it has stopped working. You are not seeing activity in your trades. You are thinking, is the robot no longer working? No, it's working. Right. So I go into my app and this is what I see. We'll update that later. Right. Okay, guys, you mustn't do what I did, ne? Whenever you open your app and you see an update, just update it, all right? But I have to continue for the sake of Ilokuzana, the training. Now you see right now, right, we're seeing reds. Now, how do you see? So let's just say I had not had any profits closed for today, right? So the whole day since yesterday, nothing's happening. So you must just click on any coin. If you click on any coin, this is where you are going to see that your robot is working. Okay? Number of margin calls. Remember what we said number of margin calls is? We said it's basically the number of dips that the trading strategy is set to execute. So as long as you are seeing a figure here, it is telling you that the robot has bought 11 dips for that one particular coin. Okay, so what does that mean? Yes, it may not be causing any profits right now because the market's dipping, but it is working because it's doing what? It's executing those margin calls. Okay, and if I look here to the left, it's showing me the value, the amount of USDT spent on this one particular coin. So I had someone send me a screenshot this morning saying, Bongi, my USDT balance is only 60 cents. Yes, your USDT balance must deplete if the robot is working. Because what is the robot doing? When the robot is executing a trade, it is buying a coin, a cryptocurrency coin, in exchange for the USDT that you have. So it's using that USDT to buy AMA trades, to buy AMA coins for you, especially now when the market is dipping. So guys, make it a point that, number one, if you are going to check your account every morning, make sure that you are also checking CoinMarketCap to see what is the market doing currently before you even pay attention to the reds that are in your robots. Have a look at CoinMarketCap to see, all right, what's happening with Bitcoin? What's the rest of the market doing? And if you can see that the market is dipping, then expect that the coins that the robot is trading will also be depreciating in value, and the robot will be buying the dips for you. And also understand that your account will never perform the same way as the next person, even if you had the same amount of trading capital. It's also about the timing of the trades when they were executed. Okay, so I'm just going to go back here and go to trade setting so that we can see, okay, that every single master trader, so I am on OQQ, every single master trader has a specific number of margin calls that they execute, and OQQ has set it at 14. Okay, during a market dip, he executes 14 margin calls. Now, that's where I get the value of my first buy-in USDT becomes very important. So mine is set at $20. Let's go and have a look at the configuration of these buy-ins. So you will see, Ubuti, you are going to have on your left margin call drop. What does that mean? It means the robot is saying, if the market goes down by a certain percentage, it buys a fraction of coins. If the market continues to go down by a certain percentage, it buys again, and so on and so on and so on, right? Then on your right, it is now telling you it will buy in multiples of what? So my $20, that first buy-in of $20, I will now multiply it by these figures, right? So with OQQ, he says, if the market goes down by 1.3%, he will buy 0.5. What is 0.5 of $20? It's $10. Ne? So that means over and above that $20. For this one coin, I must have $10 here. I must have another $10 here. I must have another $10 here. I must have another $10 here. And then when it gets to the fifth dip, it is now buying 1 times my first buy-in, which means I now need $20 here and another $20 here, all the way down to the 14 dips. So if I add all these amounts, if I add them, they will come to the total value that I need just to trade one coin. Okay, so you can do this exercise. Go into your app after this training, click on trade settings and have a look. How many dips is the strategy that I'm following supposed to execute? And for each and every single dip, how much do I have? How much do I need to have? Okay. Now, another thing to note, here, let's just say your first buy-in was $10, right? Do you see that with the first call up to the fourth call, he is only buying 0.5 times of your first buy-in? So what would that be? Technically, it would mean if my first buy-in is $10, I only need $5 here. But does the robot trade with $5? No, it does not. So automatically it means it will open a trade here of $10, $10 here, $10 here, $10 here, $10 here, because that is the minimum that is tradable in an exchange. So already for these first 4 calls, guys, so already for these first 4 dips, you are already needing $40 minimum. Okay. And then of course, again, it continues. So if you are coming in and you only have, like I did when I started, remember when I started, I only had $28. My trades would be stuck already. By the second dip, I would be stuck with a negative. So again, those are the things I felt we need to revisit and I need to re-emphasize.